Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to TacticalBassin. Today we are talking bang for the buck rods. We are going to talk about 4 different lines of rods that I feel are your best bang for the buck. The rods where at each price point you get the most for your dollar. Why are we doing this video? Well, 3 different times this week I got emails from viewers who wanted to know what they should purchase. Now, we get those emails all day, every day, and we do our best to respond to everybody. But what was unique about all 3 of these, and it was interesting that they came back to back to back, was that all 3 of them said, listen, you guys talk about so many different rods in your videos. You fish so much different gear. I don't want to do that. I want one line of rods. Tell me where to put my money. This is my budget. What one line should I buy? And it's funny because we spend so much time diversifying because we know that some of you guys like Daiwa, some of you guys like Shimano, some of you guys like Lew's, right? And we want to do our best to give you solid advice for what you like. But there are also those guys that want a very straight answer. This is my budget. What do I get? So this, I'm going to tell you straight up, this video is based on personal experience. This is my opinion. It is opinion, but I fish a lot of rods. Between Tim and I, we own like 18 or 19 different brands of rods. We do our best to fish everything and be fair and really get a feel for what you get at different price points. So enough of that. I'm going to run through 4 models of rods here. If you want to invest at different price points, these would be my pick. You guys are welcome to disagree. Down in the comments is a great place for that. But here's my 2 cents. First one, coming in low budget, Dobbin's Colt at 80 bucks a rod is no joke. For a long time, we didn't even review rods or didn't give our 2 cents on rods under $100 because for the most part, I mean, junk is not a fair word, right? There's a lot of brands on the market, but it's a pretty good word. Usually under $100, you're not getting a lot for your money. The equipment wears out. It's not sensitive. There are a lot of issues. They're not built well. That's the standard. But the Colt, when we finally got our hands on those and tried them at 80 bucks, are actually very, very solid rods. Now, they don't have some insane sensitivity like an expensive rod would, but for their price, they have great sensitivity. And most importantly, at that price, they have excellent build quality. The quality is still there in an $80 rod. So if you're in that budget range, I mean, that's where I would go in the market personally. Paired up with something like a Canon, I mean, you're under 200 bucks a combo for great gear that you're not going to grow out of. Now, I would not do my most extreme sensitivity, that feel where you need true feel. I personally would not put my money into the Colt because I'm going to spend a little more, get a little more sensitivity, but because that's important to me. But you want to talk about cranking, spinnerbaits, topwater, all reaction. Why not? I mean, at 80 bucks a rod, build quality is phenomenal. Now, if that's your total budget, I mean, for sensitivity too, do it. If you want to be a one rod line guy, so everything has the same feel and you're consistent across the board, that's your rod. Number 2, moving up just a little bit in price, Dobbin's Furies. You're like $110, $110 to $120. I don't know that there's another rod that competes there. There are some other rods that are close, and we've recommended a lot of rods in that $100 to $130, $140 range over the last few years. There's a lot of stuff that's close, but if we're talking about the entire line where you need every model to be consistent, the Furies, I just don't think you're going to beat them. 110 bucks. They're really nice rods. They compete with a lot of rods up into that $200 range from other brands. And again, we're not brand specific, but I'm telling you, when it comes to budget, I mean, Dobbin's kind of got it figured out. There are other brands that are chasing and they're really close, and I'll bet by next year there are some true competitors. But my opinion, right now, that's where it's at. Next, we're moving up in price. These are coming in that 260 to 280 range. So we're moving up. Talking about Shimano X Prides. This has become, hands down, my core rods personally. These are my core rods, and I know they're actually a bunch of Tim's core rods too. I'm not going to tell you they're the most sensitive rod on the market. They're not. Right? You want to spend $500, $600, $700, $800, you can get more sensitive rods. But I'll tell you right now, out of all the brands I've used, out of all the models I've played with, that at $279, these beat every other rod that I use in the 200s, in the 300s, and sometimes even up into the mid 4s. I mean, this is competing with a lot of rods up in the $400 range. So again, we're talking about best bang for the buck. If you want all around performance, rods you will literally never grow out of. These are my core rods now. They've become my core. I bought, when did we start buying these? Maybe 2 years ago? I first picked up the X Pride. Tim and I both bought one just to play with them. Then I really liked the one I got, so I got a couple more. Then I tried a spinning rod. The next thing you know, I've got, I don't know, a dozen of them probably, because they're, when I go out on the boat, this is the main rod that I'm fishing with. And it's not cheap, but it's not expensive. I mean, compared to a lot of what's out there, $270 is nothing for what you're going to get. Phenomenal sensitivity. I have yet to break one. Super lightweight. Very, very comfortable to fish with. The big difference that you're going to get when you jump up, sensitivity and weight reduction. And weight reduction for me is very, very important. Because I spend so much time on the water, you build up a lot of muscle memory and a lot of strength, but still, day after day after day, if you're using heavy rods, it's a lot of work on your body. And in that price range, I mean, they are light. Specifically like this, the 7.3 extra heavy, it's a joke how light this thing is. This is my frog rod. Well, obviously, frog's still tied on it. This is my personal frog rod, and it's phenomenal. Now, guys, by the way, down in the video description, we'll link you all these different all these different rods, as well as the reels that we personally pair on them. But I'll also tell you in each line what some of my favorite models are, just so that you know that going in. But again, $280, $270. If you want rods you will never grow out of, I think those X Prides are the best you can do on the market right now. Now, moving all the way up, we're jumping clear up into that $500 zone. And the reason why I'm jumping that far, everything in the middle is a little bit muddy, right? There's a lot of really good stuff there in the middle. But that X Pride carries so far for me that in my lineup, this is kind of my next jump. If you're going to take one line of rods and you want to go high end, go NRX. G Loomis NRX, you're talking $500 to $600 per rod there. Again, personal opinion. I own a handful of them now. Tim owns a couple now. So between us, we've got 4 models that we've played with. We've got some buddies that have them, so we've actually played with a lot more models than that. But we put a lot of time into those 4. I don't think it can be beat, especially as an entire line of rods. The consistency is incredible. I love the Conquest. Tim and I both invested in a Conquest just for comparison's sake. I love my Conquest. But speaking solely to sensitivity, they're pretty darn similar, and the NRX does it at a better price point. So if you are going high end, you want the best rod on the market, the best line that you can get to invest into, just go NRX. There are more expensive rods on the market. There are slightly less expensive rods that claim they're more sensitive. I have not tried every single one of them. Again, this is about opinion, but I've tried most of them. This is where I would go. So again, we made some huge hops in price, but the reason why is I think these rods fill those in-between gaps. So Colt to Fury, then I just jump over to that Shimano X Pride, and then I jump all the way up to the NRX. We could recommend a ton of stuff in the middle. I mean, we own a ton of stuff in the middle, and we fish with it all the time. But if we're talking about single models that are just phenomenal, these are them. Down in the video description, I'll tell you my exact favorite models for each one. I'll even tell you why I like those specific models. But guys, I hope this helps you, because I know a lot of you want that. Don't tell me brand, tell me model, tell me, you know, application, and I'll make my best choice. And that's who we cater to most of the time. But there are those guys that are saying, hey, look, let's get real. I have $200 budgeted per rod, and I want a set of rods. What do I do? And this video, this is for you. Guys, those are my judgment calls. Again, Colt, Fury, X-Pride, NRX. At those price points, today, you're not going to beat them. I hope that helps, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you didn't enjoy the video, tell us about it down there in the comments too. We're willing and happy to listen to you guys. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Have a good day.